And good afternoon, folks. Good evening, wherever you are. Maybe good morning. This is FrugalBC here with another Algorand, Hedera, HBAR, and other crypto news. Actually, got a pretty good show for you today and some really interesting stuff going on. One of the things that's most interesting, I think, is the Unity engine. We're going to talk about that. But let's go. Let's just start off and go through what show we have planned for you today. We got some really interesting news around AlgoKit and Python. We learned that the newest version of AlgoKit will integrate Python programming. Got some stuff, lots of stuff that John Wood said at Token 2049. That's really interesting. An interesting look at an Algorand HBAR speed test. Actually, it was a number of blockchains that were in the speed test, but Algorand and HBAR came out on top. We're going to talk about that and some reactions to that. Some other quick hits around Algorand, like Deutsche Bank partnering with Taurus, which is integrated into Algorand. Some bad news if you're a Guard coin fan, that's not doing so well. We got news around that. A new feature from Vibe, which I don't know if you know what Vibe lets you earn some crypto from posting on social media. They actually have a new chat feature, and which includes some potential sexy time chats. Whoa. And we've got big Algorand stablecoin news. So we're going to talk. This might be one of the biggest announcements on Hedera this year. We're going to talk about that in the studio that they are producing. But our big news of the day is going to be the Unity fee structure, which is causing all kinds of chaos in the web3 ecosystem. A lot of people really not happy about this, and I understand why. It actually impacts Algorand and some of its games, and I've actually done some reporting around this. Did some talking with some developers in the Algorand space to kind of get a sense of like how this will impact Algorand specifically and other Web3 games. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, just kind of talk about the situation in general. It's a big deal if you're into games, but it's also a big deal for the Web3 part of those games. So we're going to talk about all that today. We've got a really good show. I'm really excited about that. And let's see who we got here. So remember, hit the like button if you have not already. Appreciate that, guys. Help support the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. Makes me happy, makes the algorithms happy, and it will make you happy because you'll see all our videos. If you like this hat, you can get your own, plus other FrugalBC merch down below. And let's see, what else? Oh, and a big shout out to my sponsors. And that's what I should have pulled up first. Big shout out to my sponsors. Oops, window. NFD. That is non-fungible domains. They are good friends of the channel and they are sponsoring our content on a monthly basis. So we very much appreciate them. If you want your own .algo address, go get that today through them. And they're the one that actually works. The other one actually shut down too. So we're glad to have them. They're really good guys in the ecosystem. And I promise we're going to get to the news. We are also sponsored by Taco Coin. A Taco Coin is a coin that is basically supporting a taco truck in Iowa. And you can pay with Taco Coin, which is a ASA on the Algorand blockchain, and you get like a 20% discount on your tacos. So that's pretty cool. And if you're not in Iowa, you can still play games on their platform and you can have the coin and do fun stuff like staking and whatnot. So definitely check that out. So, and a big shout out both to NFD and to Taco Coin for supporting the show. Now, let's get into the markets because this stuff is interesting. Some good news. Finally, some good news. Relatively good news. Interesting. We went up just a little bit on that. We're almost in yellow territory on the fear greed index, by the way. Not in that. It was like 35 or 37 last week. So it's not like a huge tick up, but yeah, Algorand sitting just under, or excuse me, Bitcoin. If Algorand was at If Algorand was at 26,000, well, I think a lot of us would be very, very rich. No, Bitcoin at just under 27,000. Had a pretty nice little tick up in the last 24 hours, but otherwise up 6% on the week, as is Ethereum. So I did well. I bought in was it under 25 when I bought? Somewhere around there. I've definitely bought around a lot around the 25 range, so doing pretty well there. Everything kind of looking very similar. Everything's up around two to. Oh, look at Toncoin. What on earth is going on in Toncoin? Up 46% in the last 7 days, as well as 5% in the last 24 hours. So if you bought Toncoin, you're very happy. Solana up 11%. That's a nice pop up. Actually bought a little Solana. I don't think it's a good project, but I think the coin will pump because you just see the veracity of Solana supporters. So that's why I bought some purely based on price and having nothing to do with utility. They would make some claims there too. I've said my issues with Solana. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Yeah, everything's at least a little bit up. Litecoin up into the double digits. Bitcoin Cash at 18%. Chainlink 13%. A nice little pump up from Cosmos. I actually bought more Cosmos. I hadn't bought Cosmos in a long time, but at $6, that seemed like a pretty good deal. That was really pumping. Hedera up 10%, back into 5-cent territory, which is where we want to see it. I think I bought some Hedera too. Sometimes I can't remember what I bought. Some did not benefit. Internet Computer did not benefit from the pump. Is at a little bit down on the, as is Mantle, which kind of came out of nowhere anyway. Oh, look at VeChain. VeChain sponsors the UFC. You always see VeChain on the, I believe it's on the, what do they call those? The crossbars or whatever. What do you call that? The pylons of the hexagon, octagon, hexagon. Good grief. Yeah, Maker. Oh, man, that's a nice little pump up from Maker. Near actually down. I don't know. Been really surprised with Near lately. And of course, there's our buddy Algorand sitting at 8% up, so almost back up to 10 cents. And I remember it had fallen. Just looking at my chart, it was well into 8-cent territory. So nice to see it getting close to 10 cents again. Sitting at number 45. It's been holding pretty steady in that range. So that's nice to see. Just to kind of round out. Yeah, we got Thorchain. Thorchain has made its way to the top 50, which is really interesting. But with a big pump, let's see who's like who's really pumped. Oh, I hate that it does that. Let me just scroll up a second. Yeah, actually, Toncoin was the biggest of the top 100 at nearly 50%. We're at 46.5% up. So if you bought Toncoin a week ago, you're doing pretty good. I would be taking some profits. If I had Toncoin, I would take a little bit of profits. And that's just me. Nothing that I own has pumped up enough to take any profits, but if I were, if it had, I would be taking some profits. If you bought in the lows, not if you're still down on it. If you're down on it, obviously you're not taking any profits because you didn't make any profits. But yeah, I think we covered, other than eCash was not in the top 50. We've seen these. Yeah, nice for Cosmos to be up there, and Chainlink too. Good project. I really like Cosmos. I've had it for a long time. Yeah, otherwise nothing too surprising there. But yeah, Toncoin really the story of this. So I'm kind of curious. Every time I do something on, by the way, on Kick, I always have two viewers every single time. I wonder if I actually have any viewers. If you're a viewer on Kick, leave me a comment so I know that you're there, because I don't believe that it's real, unless people just pop in or whatever. So biggest gainers, we're not seeing like huge pumps here, but ASA Sats token is pumping up quite a bit. That is a great project. I love what they're doing. They just make a really easy way to see all the values in your wallet and see the value of your portfolio. Very cool project. RD initiative, I don't know what that is, or Crescendo, but they're up a little bit. Something called Hellbender is popular, as well as Ape Iron, and of course Coop is up a little bit. Again, I really wish. And supposedly this is an algo, I guess, but these are in dollars. And if you're gonna choose, I would rather have 24-hour and 7-day versus 1 hour and 24-hour. I know that I bring that up like every single time I do this show, but I just find it frustrating. On the week, well, I don't think it's good to put it in algo. If someone told me that this is an algo, and if this is the 7-day is an algo, this is, well, let's see, what is the 1 day? Does it match? No, it does match. So actually, I don't know. Until someone gives me a better way, I'm just going to go through chips down on the week, up on the 24-hour. DFly token is up. Yeah, interesting. Like every time someone launches a project, there's usually some complaints that DFly isn't supported. A lot of people really like DFly as it's a wallet. This is the token that supports the wallet. Opulus down a little bit. That was up, but still at almost 6 cents. So still looking pretty good as far as price. Vestige up quite a bit on the week. Gora down, as is KubeCoin and Dharma. Yeah, Voltcoin up a little bit. And one of our viewers is the founder of Voltcoin, I believe, if he's there today. We will look in a second once we get through this. And Kita Inu is up. That was one of the original meme coins on Algorand. I don't know if there's one. Well, there probably is. I wasn't going to say that. There's probably one that predates it. Yeah, that was one of the early mistakes on the channel. Is there's an Akita Inu on Ethereum and one on Algorand, and I kind of conflated some two. It's the only time. I think it's the only time I actually took down one of my videos because I had mangled it so badly. So a little bit of early FrugalBC alpha there. FrugalBC history, blooper reel, maybe you might say. Yep. That is the ASA stats. And then one of my favorite things that I like doing now is checking out ChainTrail. This is their they track how dApps are doing. This is the real time. I actually want to go to the leaderboard because I think that's a little more useful. And we have Planet Watch at the top, fallen by next fallen order. That's interesting. I think I follow the guy who founded that. I think I'm friends with him on Twitter, or I follow him. I was in a space recently with him. That was pretty cool. I'll have to look more into that project because they are really doing monsters down below. We're going to talk about fractal monsters when we talk about the Unity engine fiasco, which is coming up very soon. Now the blockchain itself is on there as number 4, followed by TravelX. You know what TravelX is. That is the company that is doing NFT ticket sales. Super cool. I love what they're doing. So congrats, guys. And just to round up the top 10, Applied Blockchain, FolksFeed Oracle, AlgoFi Oracle, Arbitrage Bot, and the Fry Foundation. I haven't heard of the Fry Foundation. I might have to look into that one. This is why I like looking at the ChainTrail data, because they have cool stuff like that where you can actually see maybe new projects that are crushing it that you haven't heard of. Although it's down here, it's like we're starting to run on. Oh, I see. Yeah, very cool. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's see who is here. Now, it has a tendency to crash if I pull up the chat on my actual platform. So we're going to pull it up on the Tuba view here on my desktop. Is it really putting ads in my chat? What is up every day? Algonaut, welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. Algo Nice, I haven't seen you before. What's up? How are you doing? Good to see you. And Melmon Speed, he says hello, and I'm happy to see you as well. Welcome to the show, guys. So great to have you guys on. I appreciate it. So periodically throughout the show, I will look at the live stream and I will, shout people out or answer questions. So feel free to answer questions during the show. If you have not already, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button just to spread the word about Algorand, about HBAR, about all these other great projects we're talking about, and show this video to more people. Let's try to get more people in here. So hitting that like button really, really helps. I appreciate it, guys. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel and be a FrugalBC friend. Well, enough about that. I'm going to lead off actually the story because this one's going to take a lot of work. So Unity is a game engine that a lot of game developers use, a lot of web3 game developers use, including a number of Algorand games. They just announced a destructive new fee structure that is causing all kinds of chaos in the Web3 space and the Web2 space all over. Game developers are really, really ticked. Why are they ticked? Basically, it's a new fee structure that not only charges on the front, they already charge on the front end for using the engine, but now they're charging an install fee on top of that. We're going to show what that install fee looks like and also why it's a problem for Web3 games and just for gaming in general. Just as an example, I know Fractal Monsters uses it. Ager Tactics does not. I believe Alchemon and I believe Cosmic Champs also use Unity. I reached out to a number of them. I heard from Fractal, so we're going to include some comments from the developer behind Fractal Monsters. I also spoke extensively with Ager Tactics, Jim from Ager Tactics, so we talked a lot about that. Gave me a lot of background, kind of his thoughts on it. It's very helpful, so I appreciate that. Also, big shout out to Catlin Guzman. She was very helpful in passing this tip around in the first place. I want to start off with a video from Penguin Zero. So we're gonna start by showing that. So just give me a second. Just give me a second to cue it up here. So it's like the third ad it added. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch a very short portion of it.
Unity a few days ago, just as a tiny little blurb, basically a cameo appearance in a Marvel movie. I just kind of went over like the very basics of everything going wrong with Unity. But things have only gotten worse since then, so I just want to make a whole video here going over the entire situation and kind of dancing on Unity's grave, because they did it to themselves. Now, of course, they're not actually dead yet, but they are doing everything in their power to put themselves in the dirt. They are bent on self-destruction and nothing will stop them. It's like a scene out of 24, with Jack Bauer interrogating a terrorist and they're doing everything they can to take the cyanide pill to end it all. That's Unity as a business right now. So a channel called Upper Echelon just released an incredible video going over all of the new information about this situation, so I'm going to show you some clips of that, as well as just give you the broader stuff as well, just in case you're unfamiliar with all of it. This is going to be an all-encompassing biblical smackdown of everything Unity related.
Unity Technologies, a video game software company responsible for making the Unity game engine, has recently adjusted their fee structure. On top of a flat subscription service, they will now charge game developers per install with retroactive terms of service changes, and that monetization scheme will have a severe negative impact on a great deal of projects.
In a nutshell, that's where all of this disaster stems from. He has just given you the macaroni, so allow me to give you the cheese. Unity made a big announcement about a change to their monetization model where if you reach a certain level of success with their product, they will then start dipping their greedy, grubby little paws into your pockets and take a little piece for themselves out. So, if you're using Unity Personal and Unity Plus, you're eligible for this fee once you reach 200K in revenue over the last 12 months and have 200K lifetime installs. And that number increases to 1 million in 12 months and 1 million installs when you're using Pro or Enterprise.
Oh my God. My sound is down that whole time. I did that whole thing. No. I'm surprised you guys are champions, man, because I'm surprised you all stuck around for that. Oh my God. That's my big story. Okay. All right. Well, so like I was saying, and now I got to do this all over again. After the video, oh my gosh, I can't believe I screwed that up. I put it on mute just to. You guys are free show. Yeah, you can have this show for free. Oh my gosh. I see the chat now. I do have it. Liloya. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I will have an HBAR video. Well, we'll have an HBAR section coming up. Okay, so let me just get a drink of water. No, you guys are G's for sure. I appreciate it. Okay, so I talked about how Unity is ruined. Basically, anything over 200,000 downloads, you're going to get this fee. This fee is going to be instituted, and it's going to bankrupt a lot of companies, especially into the free to play model. I spoke to Dev Fracas at Fractal Monsters. They were talking about how they're at about 20,000 downloads, so they're actually going to be okay for now, but they're growing. So a lot of companies are worried about that. Cosmic Champs, I believe, uses it, as does Alchemon. And boy, that really threw me off. So there's a lot of concern here. I'm going to show you. Let's go back to the game studios. There's an entire account made just for being angry at Unity, which is not really that much of a surprise, but it's at 7,400 followers. And they list some of the alternatives to Unity, including the Godot engine, the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is the one that powers Age Your Tactics. Godot is the one that Townstar switched to. They were on actually, I forget what engine it was. It's not listed here. It's a different one. But they switched recently to the Godot engine because it has more utility. So they won't be affected, but I believe Alchemon is on it, Cosmic Champs, I believe, and then I know for sure Fractal Monsters is on Unity. And Unity is a pretty common engine for a lot of game developers. Now, there also was let me show you this again. Unity disappointed. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. This is Spawn Point. They said, we are a small indie team working on our first commercial game. Let me pop that out. We're a small indie team working on our first commercial game set to release soon, and we are now very worried about our future. Our hope was that the sale of our first game would be able to fund the next one, but now, with how unpredictable your new runtime fee is designed, our hopes for the future are at an all-time low. We are aware that this game might never reach the threshold, but what about the next one? So they're wondering how they can invest years of their lives on an engine that rewards success with unpredictable fees that possibly take every penny from us. I mean, this is what game developers are worried about. But this is my favorite because it rhymes. Unity messed up so terribly bad, and now the developers are rightfully mad. Counting installs? You know that's not right. How do you count? Won't you please shed some light? I love this. I love that they put this in a rhyme. This is fantastic. They just end with we like what you make, but it's not a must. Adios, sayonara. That's the thing you can trust. So I reached out to a number of developers. I reached out to I reached out to Cosmic Champs, but I didn't hear from them, which I was a little surprised about. I got a lot of help from... No, maybe I really did have viewers, because now I have one. I got a lot of help from Jim at HBAR Tactics, so I appreciate that. Now, their game is on the Unreal Engine, so they're not affected by this, but I think everyone's kind of paying attention to it. And he helped me out with a lot of background info. And Dev Fracas from Fractal Monsters told me basically this is a huge disappointment for them and for a lot of game developers. They're pretty worried about it. Right now they're at about 20,000 downloads, so it won't impact them yet. But as they grow, they might reach that 200,000 threshold, which is very scary. Now this is... Let's go back to this. So Unity, they did release yesterday evening, they did release a sort of an apology, kind of walking back their statement a little bit. They said, "We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback." And this is where the frog of shame comes in, because he says if the frog of shame gets more likes than your original tweet, then your tweet really sucks. And did it? 16 and 31. Yes, it did. He says, "I will keep posting the frog of shame until you reverse this policy." Bill Corner said, "We have heard you. We have not listened to you. Here's a bunch of marketing talk to make you think we're doing something, when in actuality, we're just figuring out how to keep doing what we've already decided to do. Thanks for your honest and critical feedback." What? Seriously? And RG says, "We already know they're going to rewrite everything in a way that means the exact same thing. Once a company makes a move like this, they typically don't learn or try to do what is right by their user base." Yeah, so this could cause a lot of trouble in the Web3 space for game developers. It's probably not going to affect a lot in the Algorand ecosystem or HBAR, just because there's so much. A lot of these games have pretty low user bases. Like Fractal Monsters is probably the most popular right now, and it's at 20,000. So I got to think they're still going to be safe for a little while. But as you grow, you worry about that, and I think this will really affect games that are built on bigger platforms with more user base. But this will have a huge impact on Web3 games and gaming in general. Unless they seriously walk that back, we'll be keeping an eye on to see what they do with that. There. Well, now we actually did it with sound. Wasn't that nice? Welcome back. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys sticking around. I wish there was a way. Let's see what people says. RPS was saying he hopes Algo is not bottomed, and Everyday Algonaut responded, "If Bitcoin goes to 17K, Algo will go to 5 cents. I think the bottom will be when the war in Ukraine will end or after the next BTC halving." Yeah, and what we typically see there is we typically see a run up leading up to the halving, and then sort of a bigger bull after it happens, and that's what's typically happened. But we've also had truncated bull runs the last time, so we'll really have to see what happens there. Whew. All right, give me a drink of water. We'll go to the next item. So some big news at Token 2049 coming from John Woods, who is the Chief Technical Officer of Algorand Foundation. He announced some big news about AlgoKit, which will be integrating pure Python programming. Now, this is a big deal because Python is one of the most popular languages around. It's taught in universities. It's one of the easiest ones to get into. I've tried a number of languages, and the only one that I can actually do anything reliably on is Python, because it's just easy to understand. It's still coding. Coding is still kind of hard, but I can at least do a little bit on there. So I think this is a huge deal. And so he goes into a little more detail. Let's take a look at that. Then we're going to talk about relay nodes too. Let me share this. It has some John Woods video too, so that's always good. So here's what John Woods has to say about this. He says, think about this. Now, everyone who is familiar with Python, students, hobbyists, beginners, machine learning / AI engineers, data scientists can build on Algorand without training and enterprise. Their existing teams now have all the knowledge they need to build great apps on Algorand. Algorand and Python, the game has changed. I like that. Is anyone better at selling Algorand and the technology behind it than John Woods? I just don't know if there is. So and this is a good question. So Algorand 411 says, great job like always, but I was under the impression that the current PyTeal was already very similar to Python. Can you please elaborate more on the specific advantages for going pure Python, please? Well, PyTeal is Python calls to assembly. This is just everyday regular Python. So that's, some of you might have been confused on that. I was maybe a touch confused on that too, but I kind of figured it out that it would be just regular old Python. So I assume you called like a library or something. I don't know. I'm very curious about that. Let's see. Phil asked about any cross compilers. I'm assuming you meant compilers in the offing from Rust to Python. We could create an avalanche, cough, cough, over to Algorand. John says all possible now with our stellar architecture we built to enable Python. So that's really cool. That is coming with AlgoKit 2, I believe. So I think that's great news. I think Python is very, very useful. By the way, not the only announcement that John Woods made recently. Because they also talked about removing relay nodes. We're going to hear from John himself on this. What happened to that video? Uh-oh. Well, maybe we're not. Hold on. I do have info for you though. This was shared by Justin Bonds. Algorand just announced that they will remove relays. This is a big deal, a real commitment to decentralization. I criticized the relay nodes and suggested changes. Removing them works as well. I wonder how this affects TPS. The trade-off is worth it either way. Welcome to the club. This is interesting because someone says, what if relays became optional components, as in the network operates perfectly fine without them, but folks can choose how to route transactions when they need shorter propagation times, i.e. an entity could run a business where they offered folks the ability to connect through their node for a few. Hudson says, if the gossip network can bypass the relay nodes, it should be fine, as that means relay nodes cannot gatekeep anymore. The scenario that concerns me is when it starts to look more like XRP, where disagreement was so high a cost that everyone has to use a permission node list. Interesting. Let me just see if I can find. I know I had that video saved. Here it is.
Apps on Algorand. We announced AlgoKit version 2.0.
Here's John talking about AlgoKit. I should have shared that first, but here it comes.
Which has some very special features.
And what does that mean for the developers on Algorand, John?
We announced a tectonic shift in the experience of building apps on Algorand. We announced AlgoKit version 2.0, which has some very special features.
And what does that mean for the developers on Algorand, John?
So, When we started AlgoKit, we recognized that we needed to change the developer experience in Algorand. Algorand is a decentralized operating system, effectively. And a great user experience starts with great dApps. So we need to help our developers build quickly and easily. We launched AlgoKit earlier this year, and it gives you everything you need to build, test, and deploy applications on Algorand. There was one bit I wanted to change though. We needed an easier language. Today, we have changed the language of Algorand from Teal, which is quite hard to learn and quite expensive to build in, to Python. Folks will know Python because it's used globally, both as a teaching language for students to get their first understanding of how to program applications, but also by the machine learning and AI industries, it's one of the most popular languages in the world. By changing Algorand's language from Teal to Python, we not only make it much more inclusive so that there's millions of developers globally who will now just be able to pick up a keyboard and start writing apps for Algorand.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. But also, critically, this reduces the cost for go-to-market.
Okay, that's that. Apparently that cut off a lot earlier than I expected. So great news for Algorand. I think going to pure Python is going to be excellent. And great talk by John Woods. He's just one of the better spokespeople for Algorand. And it's funny because he's the technical guy. Usually, you don't think the technical guy is also going to be the best spokesperson, but in that case, they really got a rock star with John Woods, who I have interviewed on the channel. You can see my interview with him if you go to the live tab, or you just punch in John Woods Algorand. It'll probably come up. By the way, speaking of nodes that I mentioned before, guess how Algorand stacked up to other coins as far as running a node? This one comes courtesy blueflash.algo. Node specs, Algorand versus SO versus HBAR versus ADA. Which of these can you afford to run? I probably couldn't even afford the electric bill on an HBAR node. And I say this as, by the way, I love HBAR, so don't jump on me about this. This is just comparing what it would cost to run a node. You need 16 gigabytes of RAM for this is Algorand's. And I wish they had, okay, this is Hedera's. It's 250, what, is that the RAM? I don't know, but those are all really big numbers. Here's Solana, and I'm just looking down. RAM, 256 gigabytes or more. That's out of my price range. Now, I believe this is Cardano, right? That's only 24 gigs, so that's not too bad, but another 150 gigs of free storage. For me, that means pretty much a dedicated computer. 1 gig of bandwidth per hour. I think I get that. I think so. Anyway, clearly the least expensive one, probably the most accessible for most average people to run a node is probably Algorand. I think that's a really important point there, because I think the least restrictive version means more people can afford to run it. Who knows about the electric bill? I think it's probably high in all of them, to be honest, but probably much worse on the other chains. So nice to see that. That's a really interesting little breakdown of what it would take to run a node. I don't run a node for anything right now, but I would like to someday for Algorand, maybe. All right, now I promise some HBAR news is coming. And maybe we'll talk about the speed test next. Actually, we can talk about the stablecoin. Yeah, Voy is still on I really want to bring like some of the Voy people on my channel at some point, but we'll get to that. So everyday Algonaut, you just don't believe John Woods that they opted out of Teal, huh? Interesting. Okay. I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll still be involved somehow. I don't know. Or will it become a library? That's really beyond my knowledge, to be honest. I will fully admit that. All right, let's get to this Hedera stablecoin. I'm not sure about the other ones. I'm running out of time and juice. They really sapped it out of me when I'm going to pull these up right away. So Hedera, what is probably one of the biggest announcements this year, announced that is entering the stablecoin market and will be launching a stablecoin studio as part of its platform. I think this is really big news. This is going to be really helpful for a lot of people. And let's just break down the announcement here. So this came pretty recently. This was on September 13th. They said, we're excited to announce the Hedera Stablecoin Studio, the all-in-one stablecoin configuration, issuance, and management toolkit tailored for Web3 applications, institutional users, enterprises, and payment providers alike. Now think about that. You want, when you announce something like this, you don't want to be doing business generally on the native token, because that token can change in price. If you're a payment provider, much better to take payments in the stablecoin versus taking it in the actual coin, because the price fluctuation can vary so much. I mean, I'm doing that now, and it's like I take payments in crypto, and I'm like, well, who knows? But that could go up, it could go down. And I also take payments in stablecoin, and I actually like the payments in stablecoin better. By the way, if you're interested, FrugalBC.algo, you can donate algo or USDCA to the channel. Always appreciated if you're interested in that and want to support the channel. Otherwise, likes and subscribes are appreciated as well. But this is, I think, really good news. They say, by leveraging the Hedera network and in collaboration with our partners, the Stablecoin Studio delivers a highly performant, seamless end-to-end stablecoin solution with proof of reserve, dedicated custodians, and network-native KYC AML flagging. KYC is know your customer, in case you're wondering. With Hedera's predictable fees, high programmability, and robust network of ecosystem partners, stablecoin issuance and management have never been simpler. Everything you need to build and configure stablecoins with ease. Welcome to the Stablecoin Studio. And hello, future. Visa should be using HBAR, not SOL. But actually, they point out that end-to-end USD settlement via Visa and MasterCard through WorldPay using stablecoins plus proof of reserve provided by Hashport Networks, Axiom, Oracle, all on the Hedera network. So actually, they are working with Visa. And the stablecoin is a big part of that. So if we look at this talks more about the Stablecoin Studio. It is an open source SDK that makes it easy for Web3 stablecoin platforms, institutional issuers, enterprises, and payment providers to build stablecoin applications on the Hedera network. And I like that they just have this Start Building tab right there. And we can contact them. We got documentation. Basically made to be just an all-in-one toolkit. So you got everything there that you need to do to build it. Like I said, they kind of talked about all this is all pretty much the same stuff they talked about in the tweet, with an easy to use development kit, apparently on TypeScript. Interesting. If you want easy, the included React-based demo offers a first-hand experience visualizing Stablecoin Studio's capabilities, robust and compliance configurations, treasury management. That's really cool. I'm just looking through to see anything. Yeah, 10,000 transactions per second, which I don't know if there was an interesting situation over the weekend where Angel, who I believe was the Broken Fallen, whatever that was, NFT project, was trying to clock it out to see how much how fast it actually went. Now they're saying the stablecoin transfer fee is 0.001 cents, which is what the general Hedera fee is as well. Seconds to finality, 3.83, which is right around where Algorand is. So it's kind of cool that they're right about the same. And in fact, I'm going to share something else. So give me just a second here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Not yet. Oh, shoot. I know what it is. Hold on. Actually, let me just do it the easy way. Yeah, that's not the one. Hold on a second. Okay, this is the one. They tested a number of blockchains: Algo, eChain, Ada, Atom, Sol, and eGold. And look which one goes faster. Now, this is real time. This isn't clock speeds averaging out, but this is just a regular test, all on the same platform, just seeing which one would settle faster. And of all these, yeah, look how long it actually took on Solana. And Cardano was like 24 seconds. It came in last. Algorand in first, but guess hopefully this is okay. Here it is. Oh no, I didn't share it. I thought I shared it. Sorry about that. Let me go back. This has not been my day. Oh my God, this is killing me. Okay, hold on a second. No, wait. Nope. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to share it. Okay, here we go. Now you can actually see them. This is 6 L1s being put to the test across self-custody wallets, all using the same one, all starting at the same time. Algorand took 5 seconds. VeChain took 10. Cosmos 11. Which one was that? eGold. Solana 22 seconds and Cardano 24 seconds. Now, a lot of people are like, well, actually, Algorand's faster than that. And a lot of people said HBAR was actually faster than that too. We can click on that. He also did an HBAR one. There we go. And that one is around 5 seconds as well. So you can see why on this channel I really, really like Algorand and HBAR because they just seem to work the best. They're both very fast. Now some people have said, well, actually they're faster than that, but a lot of times with the point was to take the same platform and see how everyone actually did in real time on the platform. HBAR and Algorand were the fastest, and some people say Solana is the fastest, but clearly it didn't go nearly the way Solana would have liked. They were actually quite far back, almost next to Cardano. It is worth pointing out that all of these are way faster on Ethereum because you would just get bored trying to wait for an Ethereum transaction to settle. So definitely a call for all of them, a shout out to all of them. So that's great. But yeah, that's a really good news for Hedera. So you can see why I think Hedera and Algorand are going to be the backbone of a lot of different projects. Guy Benson says, bro, love hearing your videos. Thanks for the staying strong during the downturn and providing content. Hey, you bet, man. I really like doing this. I like following this space. I think this stuff is really interesting. And it's better when I have I remember to turn my sound back on after I play a video, but yeah, I think it's really fun. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys coming to support the channel and watch our live stream. Because I know like interest in crypto right now is at kind of an all-time low. It always is during the bear market, and you just have to push through it. Same thing with my channel. And the same thing with, actually being a crypto investor. Like this is where your fortunes are actually made, is when you buy during the bear market. And you have to pick the right projects, but most of the top 50 are probably going to go up. They might change, but we'll see. This is the one I've probably put more into this one than I have any previous bull market. This will be my third bull market, and I always wish I had put more in, but I didn't. You don't feel that at the time. You think like, oh, crypto, okay, whatever. When it's down in the dumps, that's when people they panic or they just lose faith. But also, just to be clear, I will be taking profit once things turn around, so keep that in mind. Okay. Daniel Carrillo says Karate Combat is picking up popularity on Twitter, and Hedera sponsors it. Yeah, I've actually done a segment on Karate Combat. I think that's really awesome. That's the kind of stuff I want to see from Algorand. Actually, I wish they did more stuff like that. We've had this this hotshot marketing person for 6 months, and you barely hear from her. You hear more from John Wood. John Wood is the one we hear from the most. He's almost de facto the marketing person. And I just wonder, I hope she's got something up her sleeve because it's been really quiet for 6 months. But yeah, Karate Combat, that is a great idea. By the way, you can watch those on YouTube. They're free. You can watch the Karate Combat, and it's pretty fun. And they've got Hedera everywhere, by the way. Giovanni Oyarvi says, loading up on Algo and HBAR. HBAR and Algo, he said. Yep, me too. And a few other things as well. I even bought, even though I dissed Solana, I bought a little Solana. And the reason why I bought a little bit of it is because Solana fans are they're rapid, and you can't tell them anything about Solana. I had someone arguing with my channel about Solana, and I'm like, okay, man, I think Hedera and Algo are for the people who think more deeply about crypto. And I think some people like Solana, I'm buying it just because I think it's going to pump, because I think that's just how it works in crypto. Not because I think it's a very good project, because actually I don't. And I pointed out the flaws. I'm like, well, this person tried to say that Hedera's founders own like 60% of the coins. I'm like, that's not mathematically possible, because I believe it's 66.8 or something like that of the whole supply is already circulating. So it's not possible for them. Plus, that's not the way it's structured. It's actually an account, and it's a very specific release schedule. So, that's not correct anyway, but just by pure numbers, it's not possible. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I got... Yeah, I guess I'll do one more short one. Vibe, which is a platform on the Algorand blockchain that allows you to earn crypto for social media, they are going to a chat function. And by the way, that includes some possibly not safe for work content. So let's see what they are up to. By the way, I've met the founder of Vibe. He's a really nice guy. I like the guy a lot. We did an on-camera interview, but it's kind of strange because I came back and I was really, really sick, and by the time I was well enough to make videos, most of those were out of date. But this is from Vibe. They're now calling it Vibe Chat. Introducing Vibe Chat. Connect and chat with exotic friends and not safe for work AI. Humans and AI merged, one love. So they're really steering into this. Vibe Chat is a chat app for couples like swingers, hotwives, bulls, cocks, trans, and friends. These exotic groups and this market don't have a good chat app. There are also 4 AI bots you can chat with. They're not safe for work. And if you want, and they're up anytime, happy to chat. We'll add more later. Vibe Chat is a traditional product with focused use case, but you earn points for connecting and chatting, and these points are tokenized by Vibe, which is a token. You can pull them off platform, put them in your Algorand wallet, and convert them to other assets. That's very interesting. This is kind of a shift from what they're doing before, but I think during a bear market, you're going to see a lot of shifts. A lot of companies are going out of business. We've seen that, but also other ones are shifting what they do. And so I'm not logged in on this guy, but I'm just going to show you guys what's up with this. So this is Vibe if you haven't seen it. And what you do is you basically connect your social media accounts and your wallet, and then you can earn crypto for. So this is the amount of Vibe held. I don't know if that's Adam Bergman or not. I don't think it is. I used to know some people on here, but now actually I don't know any of the people in the top 10. Oh, I think I've seen Alyssa on Twitter, but yeah, otherwise I don't really know anybody who's in the top 10 anymore. Oh, there's me. I'm actually number 20 on here, and I haven't used it very much, so that's kind of interesting. But I don't see the chat function, so maybe it's not live yet. I've seen some other stuff from them. I actually thought maybe they'd have that live by now. They still don't really talk about that necessarily in there. Also, they were doing these raids. I did one of them where you'd put a QR code and people could scan it and earn crypto. We've done that a couple times. Yeah, so apparently Vibe Chat is now formatted for mobile. It should work and look good. Let us know and we'll adjust. Eva is AI. AI is alive. Hey, Ricky, it's Eva from Medellin. What are you doing? I'm just chilling, talking to you. What do you look like? I'm Latina. Here's a pic. Interesting. A very strategic place to cut that off, by the way. But how do you get to it? I don't even see how you get to it. That's a very interesting. Like they're really pushing this. Want to chat with NSFW AI. It's a very interesting turn of events. I hope it's successful for them. I think they do identify a need because a lot of people are, we have trouble connecting these days, and that's a really common problem. So interesting that they say they're marketing towards couples. I don't know if they're just saying that or they really do. Maybe I should have him on sometime to talk about that, because I think that's one of the more interesting shifts that I've seen. I haven't seen someone go that direction yet, where they're uh, really doing 180, and that's almost. I mean, there's some like a crypto element to it, but it seems more focused on the chat and connection and connecting with an AI. That's really interesting, though. He was like I said, he was a very interesting person when I met him at Decipher. I believe he said he was a firefighter in his regular career. So I guess he spends, a lot of times they work like 24-hour shifts and then you have like 3 days off or something like that. So I imagine he's spending a lot of that time working on these with developers and such. But yeah, very interesting platform. I guess I'll try it out when it comes out. But I normally don't like shout out a lot of platforms on here, but I thought that was just such a strange shift, and I thought it was worth exploring a little bit. So Daniel Carrillo says, in a way, porn innovates with new technology. Saw it on a movie, how online credit card was first used in the adult industry. Yeah, I bet that's the case, Daniel, for sure. Guy Benson says Solana at 5 or 10 for me. No, I believe it. Yeah, I just bought a little bit because I've seen it pump last time. It really took off, and I could see that happening again. Despite all the news with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and all that, and all the fact that it had announced it was 8 million tokens, and then turns out there's actually 16 million. So the founder lied about the total supply from day one. I've got a real problem with that, but I was taking a very principled stand, but I decided to just get in a little bit just for exposure. But I don't support Solana, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I don't know if it's it says not safe for work, and it looks like you get at least some pictures. So I guess it is. Does it count as porn? I guess it counts as porn. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, hey, everyone, thanks so much for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Chat really blew up today, and I love that. That makes me so happy. And yeah, I think we covered most of it. There was a couple things I probably left off, but it's also great having everyone here. You can get these hats if you want down below. Love it if you hit that like button, subscribe if you hasn't subscribed already, so you can see all our Algorand, HBAR, and other videos, other crypto videos. Releasing the DeFi experiment, which is Algorand and HBAR. Now, doing that I've released it in the chat function, so I made a post about it. You can see the graphic, but I'm only going to do the videos once a month from now on instead of every week. But you can see that down below. And yeah, again, shout out to my sponsors, Non-Fungible Domains and Taco Coin. Appreciate you guys. And otherwise, I'll see you in the future. Thanks for watching.